How do? My name is Andrew Hancock and I am a VMware technical architect from Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. I have worked with VMware since their birth in 1998, so that's been a quarter of a century now. I've been working with the VMware product catalogue. Some of my close friends say if you cut Andy in half, it reads VMware like a stick of rock from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I have now written over 130 articles and recorded over 30 hours of VMware vSphere 7 and 8 videos for Experts Exchange, and received 40 Expert Exchange awards over the last 11 years working with the Expert Exchange community. I am currently the overall #1 point earner in the Hall of Fame. I am honoured to have been accepted into the VMware vExpert program since 2011, and I'm currently a VMware vExpert Pro for the last 4 years.
Back to another Hancock's VMware file. Well, if you've been following the recent videos that I've done, which are about updating VMware vCenter Server 8 to the latest security critical update that came out on, I think, June 13th, which addresses VMSA 2024-12. Again, I'll put this link in the description, and it was also covered here in Security Week about a critical code execution vulnerability patched in VMware vCenter Server 8.0 U2D, 8.0 U1E, and 7.0 U3R. So in the last video, updated vCenter Server GA to 8.0 U2D by using the reduced, minimized upgrade route, which is something new, which appeared in 8.02, I think. And the whole purpose of that effectively really is to reduce the downtime of VMware vCenter Server. And I think that in that video I showed that it's about 10 minutes. Using the VAMI method, which is the method that we would use normally, which I've covered in a video for the vCenter 7.03. The procedure is exactly the same, so I'm just going to cover exactly the same procedure for version 8, really just to update the portfolio. So we've got a video for 7 and we've got a video for 8. One of the prerequisites is that we have a backup, and I've got a video again for showing you how to basically enable and get that backup running in 8 and 7.03. So I'm just going to basically check if I have a little look at the backup here, and I can see that we had a scheduled backup that ran last night. And to be honest, you want to get again to the habit of configuring the vCenter Server backup, set it and forget it. And then if you need to restore the backup, then you can do that. And I've also basically got another video as well that I'll put in the description, that you can see basically how we use that backup to restore our production vCenter server. So without further ado, I'm going to use the VAMI method. So again, we log into the vCenter FQDN with a 5480 port on the end, log in using your root user ID and password for vCenter server, and basically select update. Now there's one thing actually that one thing I want to do first is I just want to basically just create a snapshot so that in the event that anything goes wrong with the upgrade, we can basically just roll back and we can try the upgrade again. So snapshot, vCenter server backup of the configuration and the events, and we are ready to go. But one of the things I noticed, and if you've been watching these videos, you will find that I really struggled downloading the plugin to allow us to do the reduced, minimized upgrade version. And it couldn't actually basically download the plugin, and I didn't actually know why. And then in a later video, I came back and turned around and said that I suspect it might have been something to do with VMware /Broadcom making changes to their internet presence or backend or something or other that couldn't actually find the plugin. That was a sort of kind of a hypothesis that I threw out there. But when I've actually basically come today to actually basically have a little look at this VMware vCenter server, I noticed in the history of it that there we can see is a patch for VMware vCenter Server 8 239.29136, which is just that plugin. Now, that could have only happened. You can see it's installed on June 20th, released on June 13th. Now, that could have only happened by vCenter Server actually basically going off to the internet and pulling down an update. And when I actually basically have a little look at available updates now, you can actually basically see here that the vCenter server is not available for each specified URL. And I thought, what's all that about? When I actually have a look in settings, I noticed that the repository had been set specifically to an LCM update repo patch actually on the server and not using the default. So therefore, I think QED, the reason why we're struggling to get the updated plugin was because there was an issue going on the back end. And you may have noticed as well that we also couldn't actually receive the list of updates. So I'm just going to select the default URL and I'm going to click save. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm just going to have a slurp of my soft drink, my Pepsi Max. Other soft drinks are available. Hopefully, we should get a list of updates that we can apply. So just in case it does take forever, and I'm going to go on and waffle on, I'm just going to basically, I'll speed all this up in post, and we'll just basically wait for that to appear there. Wasn't too long. Okay, so the last time I actually looked at this list, I did actually get a little bit confused, and it's not possibly been the first time that this has happened. But I noticed that VMware have actually released 2 updates in parallel for vCenter Server 8. They've issued an update for 8.02, and they've also issued an update for 8.01. And at the moment, you know, we're on GA, so we can either basically go to 8.01 or we can go to 8.02. So if you look in the release date here, you've actually got 2 updates. You've got June 17th, 2024, and you've got June 13th, 2024. So I'm going to sort by release date. The version that I actually want to go to really is the latest and greatest 8.02. There might be reasons why you want to go to 8.01, but if you've been regularly applying security updates as they are released, or within a couple of weeks of them being released, then you probably would select 8.02. But there might be a reason why that you want to remain on the 8.01 branch. Okay. So that's the update that I want to do. I'm actually going to start the stopwatch because I actually turned around and said that we were going to do this for shits and giggles, really, to see how long an update via VAMI takes rather than the reduced downtime version. And you may have noticed in my inventory that I have actually got that updated server here already, VMware vCenter Server 8.0 U2D. All I actually did, in fact, I already had a snapshot running on this particular older vCenter server, so I just reverted that snapshot so we could basically have a go with updating GA again. Anyway, so. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just basically going to I'm going to say stage and install. Let's just quickly explain the difference. If we just stage, then all that's going to happen really is that that's just going to download the updates. It's going to do the pre-update check, download the update, and then it's actually going to wait for you basically to go off and hit the button to turn around and say install. So if you were in production and you wanted basically in the future to be able to obtain some downtime at a specific time, then you would do a stage, and then you would come back later and then basically just to install. Here in the lab, we're just going to stage it and install at the same time. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to click stage and install. Our stopwatch is running. I'm going to accept the agreement. I'm going to click next. It's going to run pre-update checks. And if you've done these VAMI updates before, then you will be familiar with all this. And this is exactly the same really as what we had in the video for 7.03. So that you don't really need me to be waffling on anymore. I'm going to disappear and I'll speed all this up in post, and then I'll come back. I'm going to go out and string the drive and do a little bit of weed killer. So I'm going to string the drive, do the weed killer, and I'm going to come back and hopefully this will all be done. Could be a B day today. I don't know. It's a little bit windy. No rain forecast, but it's just a little bit breezy. Anyway, so I'll be back shortly. And I'm back. Okay, so it's been 1 hour and 6 minutes, so I'm absolutely positive, but by now the VMware vCenter server upgrade has been complete. So I'm just going to log in back to VAMI, the VAMI interface, and of course this is completely normal when the upgrade is upgrading your vCenter server, that it will log you out and take you back to the login prompt. And we're going to log in. Might just possibly need a refresh. I've seen this before after, or it's still in the process of doing the upgrade. Let's just check. Okay. Okay, we're 1 hour and 7 minutes in, and we're still converting data as part of the post install. Again, this is completely normal. As I was saying, you will find if you've done enough of these VAMI upgrades, you will know that eventually basically you get logged out of the VAMI interface, and sometimes when you actually basically try to log back in again, it won't actually let you in. You just keep logging in, putting your credentials in, logging in, and it just basically just shows you the login prompt again, because it's still doing all the heavy lifting in the background and doing the upgrade. Eventually, when it actually basically lets you log back in correctly, you will actually basically see that the installation is still in process, and we're converting data as part of the post install. And this piece of the upgrade does take time, and I believe basically it's converting all the tasks and events to the new structure of the database. This is a fairly small database. It's about 300 megabytes backed up. So I would have thought this would have been pretty quick, compared to some databases I've seen, you know, are 5 or 6 or 7 gig, which can take a considerable amount of time. But anyway, I think that we've actually sort of kind of proved that, as I said, at the moment we're an hour and 8 minutes in, and we're still down. vCenter server is still unavailable at the moment, so we can't log into it. And you know, we're an hour and 8 minutes in of downtime, rather than in the last video that I showed you, we did the reduced downtime upgrade version, whatever it's called, and that was about 10 minutes of actual real downtime. So I'm going to bob off, and I've been out strimming and cutting hedges and things, so I'm a bit sweaty, a bit hot. So I'll come back. I'll come back shortly when this is completed and summarised. So goodbye for now. Okay, and I'm back. I just picked up my phone just to basically check a couple of emails before I disappeared outside, and it basically popped up and said installation succeeded. Okay, so if we click close, service not available. Interesting. Very interesting. So let's just check if I can log in. It's not looking good, is it? Okay, let's just check that we can actually log into our vCenter server. Okay. No healthy upstream. Okay, so we are into a situation where all the services are now being restarted. Completely normal. We normally see at the start of a vCenter server restart, no healthy upstream, followed by a web client initialization error. So sort of kind of hoping that this is the case here. Service not available with VAMI. Okay, so I think that we've just actually got to be patient. If I have a little look, I can't remember now which ESXi server that we actually were hosted on. I just wanted to check to see whether or not that we're actually starting to see virtual machines, 8A. And what I'm looking for here really is a rise in CPU and memory, but I can't really make a bit. It's very, very spiky. Very, very spiky. Okay, well, I think we're just going to have to be patient. Okay, so we've now got, and we've moved on a bit now from no healthy upstream. Okay, so we've still got a no healthy upstream followed by another message. We've still got a service unavailable there. Okay, I think we've just got to be patient. So I finally wanted to come back and show you that the vCenter server upgrade that we completed via the VAMI interface to 8.02 U2D had completed successfully after waiting for it to start up, which it did seem to take an awful lot longer to start up this time. Maybe just because of the upgrade. So here we are, logged into the vCenter server panel. We are now on build 239.29136, which is 8.0 U2D. And if we actually basically look at the VAMI interface, these are particularly normal. We've got an alert here, overall health, because we've just actually restarted this server.
So just wanted to come back and show you that our upgrade did complete successfully. And you may have actually noticed that in between me doing all these upgrades to 8.0 U2D, VMware have released 8.03, which I'm downloading now, build 240225515, which was released on June 12th. So it says there. So we'll do some couple of videos again, how to upgrade via VAMI, and we will also use the magical reduced downtime upgrade version, just so that we're all consistent. We've got all the videos there for you to watch, depending on what version I want to go to. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Come back soon when we upgrade our vCenter server 8.0 U2D in the lab to 8.0.3. All the best now, and goodbye.